Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we're basically gonna start with a little bit of a story time with Papa KT1, and it is going to go very simple. Even though I know for a fact that there are a lot of people who like to view my channel as kind of like endless stream of irrelevant complaints and anything just to kind of have a dig at Kabam. That is absolutely inaccurate. I do give Kabam quite a lot of praise for everything and anything that I do enjoy in this game, and ultimately I still play this game because I do enjoy many aspects of it. And the point is that I want this game to be the best game it possibly can be, because the success of Marvel Contest of Champions at large largely also dictates the possible success that I can have with my channel covering the game. So it's a fairly symbiotic relationship there. Therefore, vast majority of the criticism is definitely not ill-hearted. It's coming from a place of worry or just in general trying to kind of like put the perspective of player base out there. All that being said, a lot of people frequently message me about bugs, and if you guys have noticed, I don't actually cover them. Not majority of them. If there's something like a huge problem with the game, or the game goes down, or some other issues, I do. But I don't know, a champion gets bugged, I typically don't make a separate video for it. Or there's some other issue with one thing or another, because there's too many of them. Like, if I wanted to make videos solely dedicated on bugs, I'd probably be making additional couple videos a day covering them or any developments on that. And I don't want to be doing that. I don't want this channel just to be, Kabam made another bug, oh, they screwed up again, here's yet another bug. So largely, I'm fairly picky in which kind of bugs and game issues I cover. Cover every stuff that affects everybody is immediately apparent. Cover things that I potentially can be helpful with by figuring out some workarounds, or just, generally kind of letting people know that something like that's happening. But this time around, after the recent update, my PMs have been just absolutely overwhelmed with people saying, make a video about this one, make a video about this. So, will you make a video about Kitty Pryde? You need to address the situation. Will you make a video about King Groot? My AQ cycle is ruined now because King Groot is my AQ champion. Make a video about this, make a video about AI, so on and so forth. And again, I typically don't, but I have reached the point where it has to be talked, it has to be addressed, because whatever the hell happened in the last update is something major, clearly. Because we have the memory leaks coming back where the entire game is loading forever and nothing's working as it should. As we can see here with the Kabam own announcement, there are two major known issues after the last update that our dev team is working to fix. Summoners are experiencing lag and connectivity issues caused by memory issues, as well as freezing during energy refills. Be aware that we are hoping for a hotfix, blah blah blah. But with that, they also somehow managed to screw up virtually, every other random champion. So we have clear evidence when pre-fights are not working in AW, and I'm not saying it for the pre-fight bug like it used to be. I'm saying when it shows the pre-fight like being activated, when it shows the icon of pre-fight, and when you enter the fight there is no pre-fight, then we have the, well, fairly famous Kitty power bug. Then we have King Groot has randomly lost 2 of his Furies. Then there is a number of people reporting that they are unable to throw special attacks. A lot more controls and input issues all of a sudden seem to be way more relevant. Then obviously the energy refill bug, random lag after finishing quests, definitely huge increase in load times. I have heard a lot about Guillotine 2099 special attack not KOing opponents under 5% health if there is some sort of damage mitigation now involved. For instance, against Deadpool X-Force, if they have Taunt, it used to still KO as long as you could deal the enough damage. But but not anymore. So apparently there's an offensive war tactic that heal blocks the attacker instead of the defender, which is fairly new. Power boost not working at times. There are even more and more and more being reported, because that is basically exactly the question. I just asked people list how many bugs they can, and there are definitely some things, you know, that aren't bugs that are being reported, but a ton of them are just new and there, and all of a sudden kind of like overwhelming the game. And the game does feel extremely difficult to play right now. The game does feel extremely difficult to play right now. So here is a genuine thing. And this is a sincere question. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I'm asking for somebody who might be in industry, who might be in the know, who could explain how can something like this happen? Because many of these things are completely unrelated. So I just genuinely want to know, how is this possible? How can a company, a game, get to a point where here's an update, everything's fucked? and from every perspective involved, because it's not like, you know, I don't have the deepest understanding of coding. I really, truly don't. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, how many things have been touched upon and messed up? Because many of these are very, very specific individual champion issues. Like I have seen, you know, reports of Falcon's lock-on just randomly not reducing opponent's ability accuracy anymore. All of the ones that are listed here, and I'm sure that there are many more that we're missing out. And a ton of them, you know, the game always has had bugs in it. We all know that. We have learned to live with them for most part. But this was just like a huge wave of tsunami. So there is a genuine question. Can somebody explain to me, with a rational thinking brain, how can so many things go so wrong in one single rotten update? Is it one person purposely sabotaging the company? Is it just one person who pretends to be coder and can't code for shit? Or what is it about? I don't know. But let's remember that on top of all of these issues, random lags, game crashes, energy refills not being normally usable, incredible load times, Kabam had still decided that game's running well enough to get rid of compensation. Like, yeah. Compensation? What's that? The game's fine. Oh, you mean the compensation that we started giving out to people because the game is running like poop? Well, the game's running even more like poop right now, but I think we can all agree that we have achieved the level of poopness that compensation is no longer required. A bunch of Richards are thinking like that. So here we go. A video addressing all the issues. I'm in awe. I'm in disbelief. I'm at a point of parody at this point. Because this isn't, can you make a video about this kitty pride bug? It's, can you make a video about these 20 new bugs that randomly popped up? And putting it, you know, in a proper contrast and a proper perspective of the fact that, you know, we have had very, very, very long-standing issues in the game already that Kabam has been unable to fix for an entire year. But everything's fine. Everything's perfectly fine. I don't know. I mean, if Spot a Bug in MCOC was a drinking game, it would be lethal. It would be absolutely lethal. Oh, and that is before we start talking about the AI, but you know, that's another discussion. Either way, let me know how are you guys coping. I guess that's all I can ask. What kind of emotional coping mechanisms are you guys using for when this game just drives you nuts? When you finish an arena fight and the game starts loading for 3 minutes, what do you do? When you try to use an energy refill and you have to restart the game, what do you do? When you try to parry, but instead of a parry, the champion randomly throws a heavy attack, what do you do? What do you do in AQ looking at your King Groot and understanding that you're gonna have hell of a tougher alliance quest even because of this bug and the rest of the crap going on, despite compensation being stopped? Just tell me, guys. How do you cope? It really does feel like we're all living in society, doesn't it? We're one bad day away. Let me know, guys. I'm gonna catch you guys. See ya. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next